Ultimate Halo.
What's going on, guys? This is Fletch here on Ultimate Halo, and this week we are back again with another Ultimate Halo podcast discussing your questions and topics that you left in last week's video. So remember to leave them in the comment section for next week's if you've got any other questions you would like to ask. And joined with me today is my good friend Leouric, otherwise known as Ollie. His channel is in the description below, so say hello.
Hi, how are you?
So he's just another Halo YouTuber. He does lots of kind of like gameplays and game nights and custom games and things like that. He's very entertaining to watch, so I definitely suggest you guys go check his channel in the description. So to your questions. So the first one I would like to answer, which is quite a nice question, so thank you Salimo Productions for asking the question. He says, important question for next week's podcast. How are you?
Ooh.
Well, I'm pretty good. Steady way. I've been quite ill the past week, but I am slowly on the mend, getting ready to grind out those YouTube videos because I sort of see we're a bit slow with YouTube at the moment, and I really thank you guys for your patience. So, Ollie, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, really. Been better. Bit bloody hot in here. Apart from that, yeah, I'm good. Round to go.
Well, we live in England, so the weather isn't that good. So, you know, what can you expect, really?
Rain.
So, okay, so the next kind of real question about Halo. What are your thoughts on a remastered Halo 3 possibly coming in 2017? So I'll let you tackle this one first, Ollie.
Well, I think the big thing is that with a remaster, there's always the possibility of another Master Chief Collection in there. So, as long as they just focus solely on Halo 3, I think it could be quite good.
I kind of half agree with you. I mean, the fact is, the original Halo Anniversary is done relatively well. You know, the art style was fantastic. I had no issues with that whatsoever. Obviously, they used the Reach engine for the multiplayer, which is was a point of contention at the time because a lot of people did want to play the classic. And I think the Master Chief Collection was purely just a matter of, as the saying goes, burning your own bridges, you know, try to take on too much of a workload on an unreasonable amount of time. But I mean, my thoughts in general are, I've talked to quite a lot of people about this in the past, and I'm kind of skeptical it will happen. Will it be the same kind of remaster? Because I don't think the Xbox One is capable of being able to handle the Halo 3's original graphics engine and a brand new one.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
To switch between the two, I don't think the hardware will be able to cope unless you drastically turn down the remastered graphics, which is kind of against the whole point of a remaster. You want it to look their fidelity as high as possible. So, I mean, we could just have a purely new graphics engine without having to switch back. I mean, I can imagine a lot of fans will be frustrated with that at the same time, and a lot of people sort of consider 343 stepping on sort of glass at the moment. You know, glass plane, you know, anytime it could snap. So, I mean, typically speaking, Saber Interactive to handle the new graphics, which they do a great job of. I can't actually fault them. They are doing a brilliant job. It's just a shame Halo 2 Anniversary was shadowed by the events of the Master Chief Collection. So, it is a shame, but...
And Halo 3 is already a beautiful game as it is. Like, they can't really improve it that much. Like, Master Chief Collection had 60 frames per second. What really can you do to change it that much? Not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if it was to happen, all I'd say is that it'd be a campaign only. It'd probably be an online download. I can't see them bring it to sort of retail. I don't know how. I don't know how they do it, but I'm not saying it won't happen because who knows. But I am skeptical and then it'll just end up every single damn Halo game will get remastered. So I'd like to see a Halo Reach in 60 frames per second because that game's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. So, okay, so we'll move on to the next question by Vanity Legend. At Ultimate Halo, do you think Brian Reed should be fired and replaced with Joseph Staten as lead writer for Halo 6? Well, that is quite the question, and the one, probably the most opinionated opinion I have of all these questions. Now, a little backdrop for those people who don't know a lot of things about the Halo 5 campaign. So I'm assuming everybody played the Halo 5 campaign, and I'm probably right to assume and I'm sorry if you don't agree with me, that Halo 5's story was incredibly weak. There were some poor writing moments. Don't get me wrong, there were some parts that were genuinely clever when, for example, Cortana recited the didactic speech from the end of Halo 4, and it was kind of like, you realise at that point how fucked up shit was, and that was a very clever moment. But overall, the narrative and the story and the writing was considered pretty poor, and Brian Reed was the lead writer for Halo 5, and it was after the departure of Chris Schlurf, and to assume what happened would be that 343 was like, okay, we don't have a lot of time, we need to get a new writer. Brian Reed, you're the next guy, you're doing escalation, you can do this, go on, go. So Brian Reed, who isn't actually that well liked in the Marvel comic universe either, a lot of Marvel fans do not like his comic books. They are absolutely, I mean, I don't know about the word hate, perhaps that's a strong word, but do not like his work. I don't want it to be harsh to the man, because he's another human being. And if somebody asked me to write the Halo 5 story, I'd be like, yeah, I'd love to do that. How could you say no to such a thing? And I'd probably do a worse job. Who knows? I mean, I'd like to think I'd do a better job. So, but do I think he should be replaced with Joseph Staten? I would absolutely love to see Joseph Staten back writing Halo, but the sad sort of reality is that he is now developing the story for the game Recore, because he did return to Microsoft, but he didn't go work at 343 Industries. So he's working on Recore. I can't quite remember the studio that's in charge of developing that game, but yes is the answer, but it's not going to happen, sadly. Maybe for Halo 7, but that's way ahead in the future. So what do you think, Ollie?
Where do I start? Well, okay, so the main thing I think of when I think of Brian Reed's writing is, you know, Halo 1, 2, and 3. All of them are amazing stories, and they have a really strong continuity between each one. I didn't really get that with Halo 4 and 5 at all. Like, Halo 4, the transition from that to 5 was more or less non-existent. You suddenly... Halo 4, you're thrusted as Master Chief, finding out, oh, I'm not the last Spartan anymore. Halo 5, fucking hell, there's Spartans everywhere. And the Didact was completely brushed under the carpet. Warden Eternal was a waste of a character. Another thing is, I think that they're trying to fill the game with so many characters so that in future they can branch off and make so many more different side stories, but it just doesn't work.
You can't develop all these characters when you try to concentrate on so many main protagonists, and then you've got all these other characters like, shit, we need to write these characters in, give them a line, get them
Exactly.
out there, give me the story. Then the names need to be reoccurring, they need to know these people, but that's not how character development works.
No, and especially with Tanaka and Vale, I honestly did not give a shit about them, as harsh as that sounds.
I liked the idea of Vale. I thought that was an interesting thing. I mean, I'm a bit funny about all the fan fiction that's circulating the web. That's kind of disturbing me. But Tanaka, she... I just didn't like Tanaka. I didn't find anything likable, and I thought she was incredibly cliche. So, which was the shame. But, as you were saying...
Yeah, Tanaka was just incredibly bland, but Vale has a good backstory that I think could be worked on if she was to appear in a future game. But I don't know.
Well, I think it's one thing that I actually find interesting is I think Halo has a problem at the moment in deciding what its expanded universe characters are and its in-game characters are, because Vale would make an absolutely sensational expanded universe character.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And it's probably best to stay like that. That's why Blue Team was like that a lot of the time. Because they were exceptional expanded universe characters. And sometimes you just can't physically bring certain characters into a story just for the sake of trying to drive a narrative. That's not how characters work. And that is one thing that Brian Reed has been panned on, is using characters as pawns against the story rather than using them for the story to drive the narrative. He made a lot of mistakes, and I think the problem was, especially coming out of Halo 4, that was a very intensely story-driven experience, and a lot of people at the time panned and absolutely criticised Halo 4's story, but I was one of the few at the time who genuinely did love that story. It was fantastic. I really liked the direction they were taking it. I had no issues with it. I saw the differences. A lot of the problems to the story I was quite naive to at first, and then in the future came to realise. But overall, especially when I'm looking at Halo 5, it's almost like Halo 5 was made for us to appreciate Halo 4's fantastic story. And Halo 5, I mean, we call it a story, but there wasn't really anything. There was no substance. There was no continuity between different places, missions, and there was just a lack of context. And it was probably right to assume that there were many rewrites that happened. So this game had a lot of problems in terms of the campaign, not just on the story front. So it's a shame this has happened, but it doesn't mean it's beyond repair. The Halo franchise is still, it's at a delicate stage, but discuss that in the comments section. I'd like to know what you guys think. Anyway, so we're going to move on to the final question, and it's purely going to be based around community top questions. So make sure, once again, just a reminder, leave the comments in the comment section before. So Mates, okay, sorry, I really can't pronounce your name. I even tried really hard before starting this not Q&A. It's a Q&A, but it's a podcast. I'm really sorry. But your question is, do you think we'll get playable elites within Halo 5? This would revive the elite community and make machinimas ultimately, I love how you highlighted ultimately, thank you, better. And I don't see why the armor abilities wouldn't fit the elites. We have the same abilities in Halo Reach just as elites, so why can't we have the same now? Also, Arbiter should be playable in Halo 6. They could also bring back armor effects in Halo 5. I can see that's happening. I can't see armor effects coming to Halo 5. Otherwise, that just kind of removes the point of the Spartan abilities and the balance that was implemented with them. So unless you meant Halo 6, I mean, it'd be cool to see the jetpack come back, but that's for more custom game reasons, personally, why I'd like to see it back. So I'm not sure, because I think the Spartan abilities have been a huge success. To the main part of the question, do I think playable elites in Halo 5 as DLC? No. I think I don't think 343 intends on giving us anything new. Not even that elites are new as a playable thing. Unless I don't think there's been a big enough outcry recently for them to justify doing this. I do think it'd be good for the machinima community, and I do think it'd be good for the elite community. I mean, I don't really know what the elite community does, but it would be a fantastic thing. More is better in Halo's case, because we are used to such a rich sort of package when it comes to Halo. And I don't see why armor abilities do fit the elites. There's no reason why it shouldn't. Sorry, your question was really long. So, but if we were to say in Halo 6, I would most likely imagine that in Halo 6 they will come back, because they have heard the outroar. The excuse they used was that they didn't have enough resources, and from the sounds of it, Halo 5 didn't have that large of a budget compared to Halo 4. It was bigger, but it wasn't anything drastic. So perhaps they just didn't have the time and resources. It's kind of it's a tough one, but I can imagine them being in Halo 6. So, I mean, tell me what you think, Ollie. Help a guy here.
Right, so do I think playable elites should be a thing in Halo 5? Yeah, I think that they should... Fucking hell, I'm being called. What?! Later! Fucking hell. Do I think that we should get playable elites? Hey, yes, I do, because one thing I think that Halo 5 is struggling with in custom games particularly is options. And the fact that if it was to be in custom games alone, it really doesn't affect the game in a negative way at all. Because at the end of the day, you're just giving the player more options to choose from. The idea that I kind of had was, I don't know if you played Infection in Halo 2 Anniversary. Did you?
Briefly.
Well, there was this setting so that you could turn on flood form on and off.
Oh, yeah.
I think that could be maybe used again, but for elites. And also that would give way to another possible rec. So, say for example, you open a rec pack, you can get like different variants of elites.
Don't encourage them, please.
Exactly. Yes.
Not with rec. Stop.
But personally, I would love to see elites back. with Arbiter, definitely should be back in Halo 6, 100%, especially with that ending to Halo 5. That couldn't have been more
In what way,
teasing.
though? In what way could it be playable?
Arbiter, maybe similar to how Halo 5's story was played. So, player 1, obviously the Chief, player 2, Arbiter.
I mean, my issue with it, I mean, I don't have any issues with playing as different characters, but my problem is there's already this stigma against playing as the Arbiter purely from a narrative standpoint because of Halo 2. I mean, I don't know what everybody in the comments watching the video thinks of that, but from my experience, I've always thought that people hated the Arbiter's missions in Halo 2. I know I did. They're probably my least favourite out of Halo 2.
I absolutely loved Arbiter's missions.
Really?
Yeah, it gave you so much insight into the actual culture of the Covenant, and you could see things that you'd never see as the Chief, because from the Arbiter's point of view, he was so loyal until the end, and you almost felt the betrayal, which I thought was brilliant. So
yeah, I mean, I do agree with you there. That is a good point. I mean, I think more from just the missions themselves. I didn't particularly enjoy them all. That's just me. But I mean, I don't know. It depends how they do it. Because at the end of the day, Halo 6's success of the campaign and who we play as is purely based upon who's writing it and if it's actually a good story. And it's a shame we're actually having to ask these questions and pry into this because we don't want to be worried about the next game. We don't be like, oh, what are they going to fuck up next? Which is... I mean, everyone says like they fuck everything up. 343 don't fuck everything up. Don't get me wrong, they have screwed things up. They've screwed up the narrative of Halo 5. A lot of people thought they screwed up Halo 4's multiplayer. A lot of people give them the blame for, you know, Master Chief Collection, whereas that was more of a Microsoft thing, pressing them. And it was outsourced that much, you know, but that's besides the point anyway. So, I mean, I like to see the Arbiter be playable. I just want to see it done well. I don't want it. The one thing I don't want in the Halo games or even in the Halo universe is doing things for the sake of doing things. Halo's a universe where everything is rich and deep within a context, and if you do something for the sake of it, it takes away that aspect. So, go ahead.
I just think that, bringing it back to that point that I made on the previous question about Brian Reed, this is good time. This would be a good time to take advantage of like having the characters we already have rather than bringing in new ones, because we all know what happened to the Arbiter, so his character's already pretty much developed. So I think it would just be an easier option to take rather than using Tanaka and Vale again. Like, we could have Chief, Arbiter, Locke, maybe Buck, or I maybe think Sarah Palmer.
Ah, fuck that bitch.
I love Sarah Palmer's character.
Ah, get out of here. Man, I mean, she started off okay in Halo 4, then in Spartan Ops she just took a massive plunge into hell.
I think her character
she
needs
could
to
stay
shine.
there for all I care.
She's been treated kind of as a side character, a very minor side character, but I think that she'd do really well if she was to be given a main role.
I mean, she's a strong female character. Nobody can deny that as well, which is good. It's good to see strong female characters in games, but I don't know. But anyway, this about wraps it up. We're about 20 minutes in and it's quite a long video. So there's lots of interesting topics. If you want to discuss them, just do so in the comment section down below and I will try to get a dialogue started with you guys. And also leave your questions for next week. This has been Jack Fletcher from the one and only Ultimate Halo, joined by Leouric, otherwise known as Ollie. Once again,
Leouric.
Channel in the description below. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to Ultimate Halo, tell all your bitches, your dog, your family, and your friends, and tell them to subscribe because they deserve it. And I will catch you in the next one, guys. Peace out.
Bye!
Subscribe now for more unfriggin' believable Halo content.